I don't have a specific time frame yet, but obviously every day he's out there. He moves closer, so we'll see. When I have more specifics, I'll let you guys know.
Has he cleared another hurdle? Did you see a doctor this week?
He's not seen a doctor, no. So we're still working towards that.
Do you have like kind of a part or like an idea of when?
Again, like he's on the ice. He's spent time in practice with us. I just would hate to put a real date on it without and lock myself into that. So right now, I don't have that.
So as we just the trade deadline is coming up shortly. It's been fairly disruptive for the team the past 2 seasons in losing players. Do you kind of keep an eye on the locker room as far as is it bothering anybody?
I think our mindset right now is that we just want to push and win as many games as we can here and try to claw, our way closer to those teams that are in the 7 and 8 spot. And I'm not saying it's easy or anything like that, but that's our mindset. So, obviously we've got a tough game here tonight. We've got a tough game tomorrow night. And if you come out of here and you do a good job, you're in a better spot. So I haven't really, in the past we've been way out of it. And, I think, it's been a bigger factor. I don't hear much scuttle about it at all in our locker room. I think we're totally focused on trying to push upwards in the standings as much as we can.
And is everybody available?
Yes, everybody's available. Yep. That's played. Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good question. He's no, there's not. He's skating better than he's walking. For whatever reason, it's easier to skate in terms of a pain threshold. He's just until we get him into practice, I can't really give us any kind of timeline. He's done a good job working hard through his rehab. It's been a long, hard injury to come back from. It's unfortunate, but that's the reality of it.
Yeah. Talking about tonight against the Bulls, are coming off of a very tough loss last night. They're coming for blood, but are there any positives of getting them on
first, I don't think back-to-backs are a big deal when there's not a whole lot of travel involved. I've never felt that, like if they got in at 3 a.m, I think it's a different thing. So I don't think it's a big deal. If anything, it a lot of times gives that team the advantage because they're more battle tested. Certainly we're going to get a Tampa Bay team that is angry with the way they played last night. We understand that. We'll get their best, but that's great. We want to see, when we get other teams' best, we want to be able to answer the bell. We want to make sure we're playing great hockey. So we're going to have to play great hockey, and we'll see where it goes.
What is it going to take to play that great hockey?
Well, Pittsburgh did a really good job last night of really doing a good job of getting out of their zone and getting through the neutral zone quick so that they could be on top of Tampa. And that I don't think Tampa had their best night, but I also think part of that was because Pittsburgh did a good job of executing their game plan. There's a momentum building. If you end up in your zone a lot, even shots that aren't really chances, they feel like chances against because the crowd is into it and they feed off their momentum. So we've got to play similar to how Pitt did last night in terms of getting out of our zone fast, getting through the neutral zone fast, and then try to be on top of them and not give them any space.
Not be different from the game last night. Physically upset. You kind of feel his pain sometimes, and you're obviously going to get an angry team as well as an angry coach tonight.
I know his record and I know his contract, so I don't feel any of his pain.
I feel today. So likely start that. Are you trying to give him the opportunity to get back in his groove? And do you ever talk to him on the side, give him a little bit of goalie advice, or do you do that just
Jeff Slake would handle more of the really technical advice. Certainly I meet with Ned, like I'd meet with a lot of our players at different times. Ultimately we're going to need both guys to play this weekend. That's the way I foresee it. It's 23 hours. We play another really good team. Ned had a real good game, I thought, last game. And so I'm hoping he can carry that forward into tonight. We're going to need him. Yeah.
I know you guys have a lot less than 3 years. How much of a book do they have this year compared to last year about that?
Yeah, I would say I've been really impressed with what they've done this year, based on the some of the key guys they lost. Now they were able to keep and have been able to keep their big time players. And any way you look at it, they've got certainly one of the, if not the very best goalie in the league. One of the best defense scorers in the league. Two of the some of the top forwards in the league. So they still have that high end. What they've done a good job of, and I would really credit the Belmar, Maroon, and Perry line of bringing some of that. It's not the same, but some of that hardness to play against, some of that physicality, some of that momentum changing, that the Gordy line brought last year. And again, they're not the same. I'm not saying that, but when I watched them play, I think that line's been as big a reason why they've been able to keep some of that momentum and physicality, in the bottom of their lineup as anything.
I think the league's a lot about duos as far as lines concerned. You look at Kucherov and Point together. I know they're obviously very talented players, but what makes them when they play together so dynamic?
I would start by the individual, and I know that's easy, but really they're both elite players. They have been since they've been in the league. I think Point's a guy who can drive a line in terms of his work ethic and his skating. Kucherov's a guy who's very extraordinarily smart about finding the right ice. He's him and Patrick Kane are two of the best at kind of sitting in the weeds, finding the right ice, and then striking when there's an opportunity to strike. But you need somebody to go beyond the puck and get the puck for that to happen. And Point does that. Point's all over the puck. He transports the puck up the ice, and then they're able to use each other at the critical moments.
Questions on two, Alex?
Yep. Next, go to John Keating.
Hey, just to follow up on Cooper, we know well of your relationship. As you're watching the game, how much did you enjoy watching him walk away from the bench?
I was upstairs actually watching it live. I was trying to figure out what was going on, to be dead honest with you. And next thing you know, he was gone. So it gave me a little bit of material to use with him. But other than that, it is what it is.
Because you can file that away. We know that's how your relationship works.
I got lots to file away. I don't need that one. I got better stuff than that, John.
Did you talk to him since? Have you talked to him?
Yeah, him and I got a lot of friends in their coaching staff actually. And Derek Lalonde was in our organization, coached in Toledo. He's a really, really good friend of mine. Brian Garlock is a big Rapids where I went to school at Ferris. Know the other guys really well. So I got a chance to talk to all those guys.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yep.
Ted Colfin.
Jeff, another thing that's coming up here on the schedule, obviously a few weeks away, is the trade deadline. How big of a hassle, I mean, you've been through this many years now, how big of a hassle is that? And I don't know, do you see it as a big commotion around the locker room this year? I don't know.
Helena asked me that earlier. I would just say to you that I have not heard any scuttle on it. That's not our focus right now. Our focus is really trying to move up the standings here in the next couple of weeks. So when that time comes, we'll deal with it, depending on where we're at and what Steve's decisions are. Our focus right now is trying to win tonight, trying to find a way to win tomorrow, and try to push our way up the standings the best we can. So it hasn't been a factor whatsoever. I've heard no talk of it. We're really focused on trying to push our way up the standings.
The last one, you mentioned Vasilevsky a little bit earlier in passing. I mean, do you regard him as almost the cream of the crop right now in the NHL at his position?
Oh, there's zero doubt he's been the cream of the crop year in and year out. Now, every year there's other people that have a say in that. And certainly Carey Price has been somebody who's been, one of the best goalies in the league for a long time. Obviously hasn't played this year, but over the last 3-4 years, there's zero doubt in my mind that Vasilevsky's been clearly the best goalie in the league. He's athletic. He's competitive. He's got a great work ethic when you watch him work. He's huge. He doesn't give up much net. He's got a good D core in front of him. He's got some really good D, but they'll give up chances, and he's an answer every time. So there's some guys this year that are certainly competing for that top spot. I think it's Shesterkin with the New York Rangers. He actually is he's an excellent goaltender, having an excellent year, and I think he's going to push over the next number of years to be one of the best. Bobrovsky's had some great years, but when you really cut it, certainly Vasilevsky's been the best.
Sounds good. Good. Thanks for this, Jeff.
Yep.
All right. Those are all the questions we had for Coach Blashill. Thanks everyone for joining us.